abusuafo yɛ ma mo nyinaa mo akɔ ababa daily update TV. We are for abusua bɔ modern so be subscribe like videos no. Abusua sana be yɛ wa adwen so sɛ obe share no like because yɛn nyinaa pɛ sɛ yɛhu de ɛkɔ so man Ghana na wonya so bitumi ato aba pa na so be hu de ɛkɔ so a gye sɛ wo a wɔhu no wɔ so apushi ama no ahu de ɛkɔ so man Ghana. Abusua yɛn kyɛ anase yɛn sɛ mmere yɛn kunu nkuti yɛn sɛm ɛwɔ hɔ ɛyɛ sɛmi gya mfi na kyɛ sɛ wɔ tuja aba park na so wɔ tuja gidigidi see ɔno no te outside the field and as ɔno no te one is supporters see ɔno nso tuja aba park no so sɛ de Bawumia ne na do bɔbɔ no see ɔno nso tuja ma ne ɔmo na abusua yɛn sɛ mmere kora ne nkunu nkuti yɛn sɛm a sɛmi gya mfi de tuja no bi.
The enormity of the problem we are talking about. That once the exchange rate gets out of hands, once you lose control over the exchange rate, it has a ripple effect on all the other matrices. All the other matrices. I will not be surprised with the way the exchange rate is going to see inflation on an upward trend again. I will not even be surprised at the rate government is borrowing from the treasury market, domestic market, and crowding out the private sector. With the and coupled with the way the exchange rate is going, I will not be surprised to see interest rates shooting up again. You see, so the exchange rate is important, and that is the primary responsibility we entrusted to Dr. Kabiru's boss, the chairman of the economic management team, Alhaji Bawumia, who had told us in opposition that he had the magic wand to stabilize the exchange rate. And today we know that the opposite is the case because the exchange rate is in tatters. I mean, the CD keeps on depreciating. The CD is now one of the worst performing currencies among our neighbors. I don't even want to cite, international countries outside the sub-region, but even if you look at our neighbors, Togo, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, the CD is performing poorly. So these are very difficult times. Yes, times have always been difficult, but the kind of hardships we are seeing today, Masa, we've never experienced this in the last 4 decades. And it is all as a result of the recklessness and mismanagement of the Bawumia-led economic management team and the entire Akufo-Addo Bawumia MPP government. And therefore, acknowledge the difficulty. That's all we are talking about. Acknowledge it. Don't come and insult our sensibilities by telling us that, there's a significant improvement in the economic matrices. Kenke is now 2 Ghana cedis. The predecessor of this current agric minister told us that plantain was 5 cedis or so. When, at the time he was speaking, it was over, over 20 Ghana cedis. Doc, American Embassy, opposite American Embassy, where they take the passport pictures. There is a gentleman there who sells corn.
Don't use his prices.
Oh.
No, his prices are American prices.
No,
don't use it.
But it will be interesting.
I'll show you a place. Just 150 meters from him.
Okay.
There is a makeshift lorry station.
Okay.
How
much do they sell?
That's close to the Akai House Junction. Okay. You will see that the price there is half his price.
Okay.
He charges $1.
No, so it means you bought from him before.
I buy a briar I buy a lot.
So your place, what is the price now?
Which one?
Your place, where you're recommending?
I came here and on this show, I spoke about how much I bought corn. In Sawam, not Accra. In Sawam, the junction to the Sawam prison. I bought corn there. It was how much? Was it 3 cedis or so? 3 cedis. And I compared that to how much
you were buying
how much we pay for feeding of a prisoner per day. The bro back home was 3 cedis. Yes.
3 cedis. And now
that's in Sawam.
I'm
not talking about Accra.
No, now in Accra, there are places where you buy. You say I shouldn't use.
No, don't use the American price guy.
It's a bit outrageous.
That's
because
dollar.
this is 15 cedis.
It's dollar. Don't use his price.
This is 15 cedis. I
just showed you. Just down towards Akai House.
I'm sure I can get something around 5 cedis.
Yes, there's
maybe 5
cedis.
But even 5 cedis, dog. It's serious. So all the commodities, rice, water, and all that. So please.
What I need to do is that I need to do a list of places you can get food.
I
need to help you with that.
Help us because
you don't know some of the corners in Accra. So
let's not split hairs over this because you know the reality yourself. You are living the reality. What we expect.
Dr. Akaduri, I need to give him a list.
Yes.
Of where you can find in these trying times.
Yeah,
that's how I can help you.
The issue is that
but just to wrap up in 5 seconds, 3 things we require from you, our leaders, those of you in government who have plunged us into this mess. Number 1, some level of remorse and contrition. Number 2, honesty in acknowledging the difficulties we find ourselves in. And number 3, credible remedial measures to bring us out, or at least to give us some temporary respite before we boot you out of office on 7 December 2024. And when I talk about remedial measures, I'm talking about at least the reduction in taxes. The taxes that your boss, Alhaji Bawumia, and your government have heaped on us are just unbearable. So far, over 40 tax items. Totally unacceptable, especially given the things he said in 2008 on Joy FM and on other platforms about how taxes were hurting this economy. See that today, you've covered your face, you bow down your head. You can't even look at my face when I'm talking about taxes. So please accept the reality and begin to take actions to reduce our pain.
They don't accept their responsibilities and then Ghana. Ghana, Ghana, or how they don't want to accept that reality, no, one person be accepted. And they are also not showing remorse because we see another down to me be general finance minister or no finance minister you must show any to be general defending the ministers. I won't say as a leader, no, you must always be with your people and I say in times of good or bad, no, it's all not people standing together, but also accept the reality because this is a country you are managing. But see, any reality you are some fee come once and say just say be bar. Na the boni a obon so omon jintum essay o man as omon neglect. They shy away from it instead of accepting say ade with the enye. Not just omagina so aye ni ya na say Ghana for ball machia more masaba back to it no. They want and they don't even show remorse. Eso man say be Ghana do no. Omon show remorse say how man say aye omo ya just omon no omo. They are not doing that. They are still defending the undefendable.
First of all, let me just deal with this because it is one of the main plans of their campaign. Meeting pastors and groups of people, telling them that don't vote for Mahama because Mahama, when elected, only has 1 term.
Is it not a fact?
He will not be seeking re-election. He will not feel accountable to the people of this country. You see, whether or not a person will be accountable to a nation when given the opportunity to serve is not dependent on the number of terms the person can run. It has to do with the attributes of the person. Whether the person has respect for the electorate and the people, whether the person is honest and accountable, whether the person is a person who takes responsibility for problems and fix those problems. It's about the proven track record of the person. It's about the trustworthiness of the person. It's not about the number of times the person can run again. You understand? And the vast majority of Ghanaians know that President Mahama is trustworthy. You can take him at his word. What he promises, he delivers. They know that this is an experienced hand who can steer us out of the mess we find ourselves in because he has done it before. They know that President Mahama is a leader who accepts responsibility for problems like he accepted responsibility for Dumsor, which was an inherited problem, promised to fix it and fixed it sustainably. And so they see his track record. They see his attributes and virtues as a leader. And they can trust him that when given a second term, just like all presidents under this Fourth Republic have been given second terms, he will be accountable and he will deliver. You see, in their haste to discredit President Mahama, they are contradicting themselves and making a mockery of themselves in the process. And that is what just happened. Here you are saying that if a person cannot have the right to run for another term, then that person cannot be trusted. You are postulating a theory only for you to be exposed. Have you soon forgotten that in 2020, your campaign slogan was "for more to do more"? You had already done one term. President Akufo-Addo had done one term. And he wanted another term, and he told Ghanaians, give me 4 more years to do 4 more for you. He knew very well that he could not seek another term in 2024. So why didn't Dr. Kabiru and the NPP tell Ghanaians that, look, Nana Addo is lying. If you give him another term, he can't go for a third term.
His theory is that to the extent that he knew he was going to go for a second term, he worked extremely hard. So that he would get a mandate for the second term.
If we are going by his theory, then no party deserves a second term. Because under our constitutional dispensation, the president can only run for 2 terms. And so when you are coming to seek the second term, we have to say that because you will not come back to us for another term, then we are not giving it to you. The paucity of thinking. What kind of bogus theory is that? So in other words, you're saying you lied to the people of this country when you told Ghanaians to give you 4 more to do more. So, Doc, it's not about whether somebody can seek 1 term and all that. You see, the success of a leader doesn't lie in the number of years he serves. It's about the impact. What Ghana needs today is a leader who has done it before, a leader with a proven track record. Look at President Mahama's record. In all sectors, whether it is health, whether it is education, even in the area of the economy, look at problems that hit this country under his tenure like Dumso, and look at how he solved those problems. Sustainably, whether it was in the area of fuel, he gave us the biggest investment in that sector, the $1 billion Atuabo gas processing factory. Today, it says that $300 million per annum in the imports of gas alone. Look at the ESLA he gave us, which has given you over 24 billion, meant to clear the legacy debts in the power sector. A legacy problem. He dealt with a legacy problem. Look at the power, the generation capacity he gave us. Almost 5,000 megawatts at the time he was leaving office. When he was in office, less than 2,000. He increased it to over 5,000. That today, because of your bankruptcy in ideas, you are even complaining about excess power. And on top of that, the man was so forward-looking that he left you a Ghana Infrastructural and Investment Fund. Now, tell me which government in the history of this Fourth Republic, which leader came to govern this country and at the time he was leaving, set up an investment fund with $250 million in it for the next government to use for strategic investments in infrastructure. A leader who set up a sinking fund. Tell me, from President Rawlings to Atta Mills to Kufuor to John Mahama to Akufo-Addo, tell me one leader who, after leaving office, or at the point of leaving office, saw it necessary to make provision for a fund with money sitting in it to repay a loan contracted by his predecessor. President Kufuor took us to the Eurobond market in 2007 for the first time, contracted a loan of $750 million. President Mahama's government paid $300 million of that. By the time we were leaving office, President Mahama left $250 million in the sinking fund to repay the rest. That is the kind of leader we are looking for. You understand? I have not even spoken about the Ghana Stabilization Fund, which was established under the Petroleum Revenue Management Act in 2011, and the monies we accumulated in that fund under President Mahama to the tune of $250 million, which is what this government had to fall on when COVID struck. Look, this is the kind of visionary, forward-thinking leader we are looking for. So spare us that. You see, Doc, I'm happy we are having this conversation because it borders on bread and butter issues, which the people watching us are interested in and which they really appreciate. You see? And so when we are commenting on these issues, we need to be candid, Dr. Kabiru. Why are we having this conversation? We are having this conversation because Dr. Rąďahęđ reminded us that only yesterday, the Minister of Agric publicly stated that as a result of the successes of your so-called Planting for Food and Jobs program, a ball of kenke today is selling at 2 cedis.
Honestly speaking, this kind of conversation, I'm manager. I'm saying for be manager. Say you fa, Rỗŵahęņ near the net to Nanado. Near Shamomi, no, the Obo Juma. Forget a political party I'll join. Forget a political party. I'll mammy woo 2 money political party when the John, the papa now when the general. Honestly, me who comment session as honestly no. Ofa John Dramani Mahama na bedi echiri na ofa Nanado ene Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Na busia compare mo no omo governance government during their tenure during Mahama na bedi echiri tenure na sisia Nanado dan kwa na Bawumia tenure na busia hwa hwa na abo adwuma hwa na create more jobs. Hwa na ye like on the record busia enye sitirimuka na so enye busirimuka na ese wo kan wa busia. On the record conversation some Jamfi Mohavi, when they run the Abbey Mohavi, the Bishop, what's not a share, as soon as some Jamfi can, no chrono, it's a John Dramani records, more far better than that of Nanado. And I say, intro, Nanado DNA far more far better. I was also leave what joint your conversation because I conversation are there, and also need be general to Abba. The Obai will be that the Obai watch or boy Juma, see him be our boy Juma, you'll be our Kasaka course. Both political parties, dominant political parties, will be our slogan. About to tray that is be a slogan on Bawumia ministry. But we see what's not so I be more word. We see what's not so Nanado Danka tenor of office, and then Rỗŵahęņ's tenor of office. No, so Mummy no compare Hana Yuma pa. And we see Marin say Nanado Danka DNA 8 years, Mahama DNA so 4 years. It means bit me is debatable. This bit make say 8 years and that's 6 years. Because you're at a misfilming John Dramani Mahama betwas. Conversation
we know as a matter of fact that is a barefaced lie. We have seen the data at least on kenke prices in Accra. And we know that the lowest price you can get for kenke today in the market in Accra is 3 cedis in some few places. But that the dominant price is 4 cedis. And that the latest price on the market, which is the price at which kenke is going for in other places, is 5 cedis. So the Minister for Agric lied. What I said was true, that I buy kenke at Usu and Chadu at 5 cedis, and you can check that for yourself. And the research confirms that. Safe to say that that is a new price that has entered the market, but the dominant price is 4 cedis. You said that, oh, somebody can buy kenke in Tamale. Look, I just got countless messages from your constituents in Wale. And I wanted to be sure before I read. So I checked with my Northeast communication officer to confirm, and he has confirmed it.
But your communication officer is
no, I believe you. I believe you. Look, I believe him. I will read it to you. He says that even in Wale, somebody, this is not my house, but I wanted to confirm. Yes. Even in Wale, a ball of kenke is 5 cedis.
Hey. It's not
yes.
True. It's not true.
And he said that the cheapest price you can get is 3 Ghana cedis.
It's not,
I've gotten messages from Tamale because you mentioned Tamale.
Safe to say that Dr. Kabiru didn't say that kenke at Wale was 2 cedis.
Yeah,
he said you can. He was trying to give certain examples. But I'm trying to tell you that I've gotten messages from Kumasi that in Kumasi Doom, kenke is ranging between 3 cedis and 7 cedis. 7 cedis.
Why, is it the size of my head?
I am telling you, 7 cedis. Tamale, they say the lowest price is 3 cedis, the average price now 4 cedis, and in some places 5 Ghana cedis. Yeah. So that your 2 cedis
Tamale is not like Accra.
So that is the point I'm making. The 2 cedis is 4s. Yeah. Now let's even say the dominant price is 4 cedis. That is what we need to work with. With 5 cedis, people also selling at 5 cedis and so on. And a few places selling at 3 cedis, fine.
A few places 5.
Why should the price of kenke?
Few places 5.
Why should a ball of kenke, which was going for 1 cedi under Rỗŵahęņ, and President Akufo-Addo was doing kenke politics on the campaign platform, that the ball of kenke should not be sold at 1 cedi? Why should it be sold at 4 cedis? When you have spent billions of cedis on the Planting for Food and Jobs program to increase the production of maize, with the aim of reducing the price of maize and, for that matter, the price of kenke. Kenke is made from maize, right? How come that under President Mahama, when we didn't boast of planting for food and jobs program, a bag of maize, the big size, was 170 Ghana cedis. And today, a bag of maize in Accra here is more than 700 Ghana cedis.
Because
conversation here no and we see baby adrenaline no no. We also chere wa adwen. Because conversation I'm having the pa our say mean na be able still from the government and the government here now be claim say the government na better. We see our draw to my in so. Power to my match as a political party no be any track and what the draw na to abama. We also chere wa adwen. Both dominant political parties no. One na Bawumia, and another the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and Asa Mahama. See, and why is now Okotoman 2024? Keep on watching daily updates. Thanks for watching. I'm share and so like and so.